It's truly our pleasure today to have a proclamation for in honor of the police chief, Marcus Jones. He certainly has had a distinguished career in Montgomery County in public safety. That's been, and as we all know, it's been mentioned many times, for 38 years. And he's done every year with great distinction. He came from Virginia and his brother Tino gave all the information about him when he was made the police chief, and we got to hear how Tino tormented him in his early life. But he began his career in Montgomery County in September of 1985 as a patrolman and as a detective. He worked his way up the ranks to serve as the assistant chief of the Investigative Service Bureau, as well as the commander of the 3rd District and director of major crimes and drug enforcement. In 2019, he was named the 17th police chief of Montgomery County and has served in that role for 5 years. He led a police department of nearly as many as we would like to get close to the 1,300 sworn officers and approximately 650 support personnel. And in 2020, he was inducted into the Montgomery County Human Rights Hall of Fame. Chief Jones has made an incredible impact on our county and has displayed an unwavering commitment to our community in enhancing public safety and fostering positive relationships. We all are grateful for his exceptional leadership, and we certainly wish him well in his retirement. He's going to be greatly missed. And Angie, you should come up and join him, please. We know who the real police chief is. And with that, I guess I should ask the county executive to say a few words.
So I want to thank the chief, and he's still the chief, for everything he did. And I think I want to put in the context of the last few years. I mean, he comes into the department, and Montgomery County was pretty calm, Montgomery County. And then there's George Floyd. And then there's the Robert White shooting in Montgomery County. And policing throughout the country radically undergoes a level of inspection it never undergone before. And it was a difficult time for everybody, for officers to adapt to a new world when there was a level of accountability and expectations that hadn't existed before, for the community to express themselves the way about policing that we had never seen before. I would say even I'm a child of the 60s, there was a hostility that even exceeded some of the scuffles we had back then, and it was more deep-seated in the community. And it was a tough time to be police chief. And we set about in this county trying to look at what we can learn and what we could learn to do better. And I think, one of the things that I was most focused on was the need for different and better training in the department. We found that officers did what they were trained to do, and then sometimes maybe we could have trained them better to do what they did. And it wasn't that we had, bad people doing bad things, but we had people doing many times what they were expected to do. Managing that transition is not an easy thing to do. And to manage it as well as he managed it, and to keep things moving along, to see the improvements in the academy, to see the efforts that have been made to improve community relations are really important things. And I think it's gotten us through this, I'd say, better than most other communities trying to undergo this kind of transformation. And I want to thank him for that, because this is not an easy path to walk. And it was really important to the community. And I think we've gotten ourselves in a really strong place. Strong enough that when I was looking for his successor, I felt that the department had done the transformation solidly enough that he had leadership in the department who could continue doing the work that he set out doing as my police chief. And I want to thank him for that. I think it says a lot for Montgomery County. It says a lot about you and your temperament and your willingness to discuss things and to figure out what is the best path forward, and an openness to, I think we always like to think Montgomery County is the best place in the universe on everything. We're probably a really good place in the universe on most things, but occasionally there are things we can learn and improve, and being willing to help the department go through that transformation and work with the community. I really respect that. I think we all really benefited from it. And I just want to thank you sincerely for everything you did to make this department better and to help us grow and to set the stage for the next chief and what's to come. And as Gigi said, I think the best is yet to come. We are definitely, assuming we can hire the people we need to hire, which is probably our biggest challenge right now. If we can get our staffing back up to the levels we need, this department's going to be in really good shape. And you got to give Chief Jones a lot of credit for getting us there. So I just want to say thank you again.
It is with sadness that we're seeing Chief Jones leave the department and go off to his very well-deserved retirement, but with great joy to be able to celebrate somebody who, for my entire lifetime, has been serving our community. Every day that I have been alive, Chief Jones and his family have been sacrificing, have been dedicating themselves to the betterment of our community, to the safety and security of our county, and it is not lost on me or anybody in our county. And for the last several years, which have represented some of the most challenging moments in public safety and in our community, to have someone with his integrity, with his experience, with his grace, to be able to lead this department and to be a leader in our community has been so invaluable and so important as a county government and as a community in Montgomery County. Someone who leads with his family in mind and your family in mind, leads with his faith and his beliefs of how to treat others in our community and the type of community that we want to build, and somebody who is deeply rooted in and involved in our community here in Montgomery County. I'm just so grateful to be able to call Chief Jones a friend. It has been a tremendous honor to be able to watch him up close in this role and to be able to serve alongside him. And we have greatly benefited at a time when we needed his leadership the most, for him to have been willing to step up and step into this role and to do it with humility, to do it with class, to do it with grace, and to do it with such a high level of professionalism, leading what I know he believes and what I share in that belief is the finest police department anywhere in the country. So thank you, Chief Jones, for everything that you have done. And thank you to your family, who for nearly 4 decades have given up and given you up in order to serve the rest of us. So thank you so much. Let me turn it over to Councilmember Lukey.
We weren't sure of the order. So I have only known Chief Jones for 6 years now, and starting in my prior work and continuing here. And what I get to say and know is that his kindness, his collaborative nature, his compassion, and his passion for the work has been the same throughout, meaning my perspective didn't change when I went from my old job to serving on the council. It just grew. My appreciation for him continued to grow. And as noted by others, this has been an incredibly difficult time in the public safety world. And the fact that Chief Jones has had such a steady, consistent presence within the department, within our community, and in and among all of us who serve on the council or at the Criminal Justice Coordinating Commission, where I have had the ability to serve with him and others in this room, that matters. That team approach, that ability to hear, see, and listen to others and to incorporate that in for the betterment of the whole. And I remember back when the last transition of police leadership was happening, I used to have in my old job a desk in the Community Engagement Division over at the Public Safety Headquarters. And so there was a lot of scurrying up and down the hall as everybody was, talking about what was going to happen and what might happen. And change always brings about that kind of a feeling. But what I loved was how everyone settled in once that decision was made and the consistent leadership that he brought to that role. It's been a pleasure being able to work with him, getting to know Angela. They are also my constituents, and we are going to be continuing with a proud tradition of D7 police chiefs as Chief Yamada comes on board officially. But I am so excited for him for this retirement and for what the next chapter may bring. And with that, I just wanted to leave you with an Irish blessing, which is, may the road rise up to meet you, may the wind be always at your back, may the sun shine warmly upon your face, and the rain fall soft upon your fields, and until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hands. And with that, congratulations.
Well, so I've only had the pleasure of getting to know Chief Jones since I came on board and in my capacity as a policymaker and having the pleasure to work with you, Chief, in that regard. And it really has been a pleasure. We are on, as has been alluded to, we're on the cusp of a really transformative moment in Montgomery County in regards to crisis response. And, we're heading in a direction that, that the county has been teeing up for a while, that we've been working on for a while, but I know that there's a lot of people in leadership who are coming together who really want to do everything we can to accelerate that and to really bring those visions to reality. And Chief Jones has really been a leader in making sure that is very clear that this is the direction that leadership across the board, including our chief of police, sees us going and is supportive of us going. And that kind of leadership is really what allows us as policymakers to be able to then work with the public, work between the legislative and the executive branch to help those things to come to fruition and tee us up for what I think is about to be a really exciting time here in Montgomery County in terms of showing our own leadership in that space. He's really been unequivocal about it and has even said, I keep saying these things. I wish more people would hear me saying them. He's said very, very clearly, and I'll say it again, I'll probably continue to quote you after you're gone, but that, we can't arrest our way with juveniles. We can't arrest our way into solving the problems of society. We have to be doing, diversion and intervention. And he has been, a great partner with the Street Outreach Network, with community partners, working with Department of Health and Human Services in all of these different ways. And so I'm very, very appreciative of that. He's been very clear that it is no slight to anyone to say that crisis response needs to be a shared responsibility. That's going to help to alleviate the burden on MCPD, for which there is no shortage of work to be done, but also to make sure that wherever possible, that we are civilianizing, that we are incorporating healthcare into all of that. And so I'm excited about where we're going, and that is so much thanks to the leadership of Chief Jones. So I'm very grateful to be here at this moment and grateful to your leadership, Chief Jones.
Chief, if you'd like to say a few words, I can tell you, you have not been a police officer my entire life. I can tell you that right now. Would you like?
That would be true. So, good afternoon to everyone, and to the county executive and to the county council. First and foremost, thank you for having this proclamation today ceremony. It's absolutely been an honor and a privilege for me to have served not only as the chief of police for the past 5 years of this great organization, but it's also been an honor and privilege for me to have served as a police officer in this community for 38 years. I have never taken that responsibility lightly. And one thing I will say that I must say repeatedly to those who will listen, that this is the greatest police department in the United States of America, and no doubt in my mind. I have been so privileged to work with the men and women who are still actively on our department, and those who have gone on to retire. During the course of my career, I've never worked with a group of more dedicated people to keep their community safe. One of the main objectives that I had when I was appointed in this position was that my goal was to leave it better than I found it. And I am pleased in my mind to know that I have left it better than I found it. And I didn't do it by myself. With the help of not only the county executive and the council for their support, but most importantly from the community. My good friend John McCarthy, the state's attorney's office, the partnerships, and my friend Gigi. And the one thing about Gigi, I just want to state that when I saw that Gigi was going to retire July 1st, I had planned to retire November 1st, but I couldn't let Gigi outdo me. She always beats me at everything else, but I wasn't going to let her outdo me, so I had to at least tie. But partnerships such as that, right, and community groups such as the African American Liaison Group that I have with Tina Clark and Vernon Ricks and Anita Neal Powell, who are here, and my good friend sitting here right in the front. We have, again, done some incredible things. And having dialogue and having an attempt to build trust and understanding about what goes on in our community. And that's an important dynamic to success, is that when you build friendships, and sometimes it might be a little bit confrontational, particularly in the world that we are so familiar with in policing, because we just understand that. But the reality is having relationships, I tell people, is often like a marriage. And if you don't trust the other partner, then you won't have success. And so if there's one recipe for everyone to remember, no matter what side of the aisle you come from, there has to be a build of relationship in order to build that trust. So I just encourage that. Again, I am so gracious to so many of my good friends. Susan Farag here as the council staffer has been always by my side, always nitpicking me, sending me messages late at night as I sit in my lazy boy trying to take a nap. But I would always get questions that she had asked, always inquisitive, but for the betterment. The betterment of our community. And again, I'm so gracious in that way, whether it's been, again, partnerships with the state's attorney's office, our sheriff's department. I know the sheriff is not here. His new deputy sheriff is here, Lieutenant Colonel. I'm so glad to see her, Jones. And then, so again, I am so gracious. There's so many people to thank, and so many good friends that are in this audience that I'm so grateful to have known. But last but not least, I must say, I have been on this journey for a very long time, and the person who's been with me every step of the way has been my wife, Angela. And I give a quick story, and I know I'll get out of everybody's way, but when I first told Angela that I had applied to become a Montgomery County police officer, Angela's from Chicago. Angela looked at me and said, "Have you lost your mind?" Again, not, having good experiences with policing. And so we had a really good discussion about what that was going to look like. But again, we went out on faith to come to Montgomery County, because this is not where we're from, to become a part of this community. We have embedded ourselves in this community. Angela has never shied away in any way, form, or fashion in being connected to the community, fighting for kids, education. We raised 3 kids here in the county. And she, again, has supported me in my roles, and I've done some crazy things, assignments, through the course of my career, working undercover and all kinds of things in the crack heyday. As just a bit of an example, and I'm just again so grateful for her, and I love her very much. And again, this as much as her retirement as it is mine. So I just say to all of you, and Daryl, I had a brain cramp, so that's why I missed your name. I'm sorry. But again, thank you all so very much. I love Montgomery County, and I am so gracious that, again, it is nice to see us get to the finish line, Gigi. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
We're going to read a proclamation. If I can invite John McCarthy to please come up with us. Chief, yeah. And I appreciate the standing ovation, but I haven't even read the proclamation yet. This is a proclamation from the Montgomery County Council that says, whereas Marcus G. Jones has been a decorated member of law enforcement in Montgomery County for over 38 years, serving most recently as the 17th appointed police chief of the Montgomery County, Maryland Department of Police since November 2019, and
whereas Chief Jones' public service interest started with his education receiving a Bachelor's of Science degree in Business Administration from the University of Maryland University College and continuing to the FBI National Academy National Executive Institute and the Police Executive Leadership Institute when he graduated in session 267. And whereas
Chief Jones joined the Montgomery County Police in 1985 and has made significant contributions in every single one of his roles, including Chief of the Investigative Services Bureau, as the Assistant Chief of the Department of Police, Commander of the 3rd District, Director of the Major Crimes Division, and Drug Enforcement Commander, and
Chief Jones helped create and develop Montgomery County's award-winning diversity training program for the police department, which he taught to numerous academy classes, facilitated the implementation of innovative policing strategies, fostered a positive relationship between MCPD and the community, and in 2020 was inducted into the Montgomery County Human Rights Hall of Fame. And
whereas Chief Jones is an active member in the community, serving as current board member of the Montgomery County Criminal Justice Coordinating Commission, the Maryland Violence Intervention and Prevention Advisory Council, Major Cities Chief Association, Maryland Chief of Police Association, Police Executive Research Forum, and the International Association Chiefs of Police, and formerly served as a board member of the Montgomery County Domestic Violence Coordinating Council and the Governor's Prescription Drug Monitoring Program Board. And
whereas Chief Jones is the recipient of the Ethical Leadership Award from the Montgomery County Police Alumni Association in 2010, the Montgomery's Best Diversity Award from the Cultural Diversity Committee in 2007, the Excellence Award from the Office of HR in 2008, the National Association of Counties Award, the Montgomery Village Foundation Community Award, the American Legion Police Officer of the Year for the Southern Region, Montgomery's Best Award 2011, and the Sniper Task Force Award, an Operation Worthy Cause Award by MCPD. Now, therefore, do we, Mark Elrich, and all the other undersigned, as County Executive Andrew Friedson, as Council President, Sidney Katz as Chair of the Public Safety Committee, and Council Members Dawn Lukey and Kristen Mink of the Public Safety Committee of Montgomery County, Maryland, and might I add, all of my other colleagues who are seated behind us, hereby extend sincere best wishes for a joyful retirement to Marcus G. Jones and share our deepest appreciation for the enduring contributions he has made to Montgomery County, Maryland. It's presented today and signed by us. Thank you very much. And could we have all who are here for this proclamation to please come down? We'd like to take a picture.